And one important thing also that we see and we admire very much from Estonia is that being a country that, as compared to this country, Panama, which is 75,000 square kilometers, I think Estonia is 1/3 of that, basically. And about half the population, we have 3 million, you have probably
1.4.
So then you have this country that 20 years ago was part of Soviet Union, and 20 years later, you see that, for example, Skype, the company Skype, which is the leading edge of technology in the world, is an Estonian company. At the same time, you see that the Estonian entrepreneurs are now taking over the Finnish fleet. They are buying and they're becoming the vessel, the Greeks of the Baltic now.
More or less.
And so, where does that entrepreneurial spirit, is the entrepreneurship? Is this a combination of you as a historian can tell me, or you think that a lot of this has to do with economic reforms?
I think it has to do with economic reforms. I think I have visited lots of countries in the world and seen different people, and at the end we're all the same. I don't think there is some nation which is more entrepreneurial as another nation. I think it depends very much from the courage in one moment to do this necessary decision to launch the real reforms in your country. This is the will what, of course, people can give to the politicians, but then the politician must really answer to these needs. They must understand that their goal is not to look only on the polls and try to be always popular. Their target or their role is to really do the job, which means to deliver.
And for example, so basically what we're saying is, if you have few rules, simple rules, and you privilege a private enterprise, private initiative, then you're going to have the Bill Gates in your garage sometime soon.
Yeah.
It doesn't take all these countries putting a lot of courses on entrepreneurship when they are not changing the rules. So at the end of the day, what you're doing is, pumping all this education.
The courses are good too, but really you're absolutely right. When you're not changing the rules, then you can do so much courses as you want, but you are not getting those results. When the government understands that their task is to really empower the people, because looking on Estonian reform, I was again called to be some kind of father of the Estonian miracle. This is not true. It's not true. The politicians are not making the reform. The people are making the change. Politicians only what they must do and can do is empower people, to create those, give these possibilities for the people, to trust them, to be sure that they can do it. And they do it. That's the most important thing.
And the young people in Estonia are very believers of this freedom and entrepreneurship. People that form Skype is pretty young people.
They are very young. So
very young.
In Estonia it looks to the government, so everybody is young.
Yeah, well, and I think it's important. Well, you've been now in Guatemala once, I think. You've been in Costa Rica. And this time you've been in Panama, which is a very different economy anyway. But what is the advice that you would have for us that, as they say, we are the continent of the future, and we'd always be. Latin Americans keep struggling and always saying we're going to change, but in 1951, for example, Seoul, the capital of Korea, was a village compared to Bogota. Today, 2 years ago, on the 100th anniversary of the 50th anniversary of the Korean War, Colombia has sent troops in that time. So they sent some of the veterans to the commemoration. And these Colombian ex-soldiers came with tears in their eyes, saying, this country where we fought, was a poor country, peasant villages, and today we go there and we are now the peasants of the world. So what are you, because you're not a theoretician, you're a historian, that you were the president of Estonia, you run the country, so you have a man that not only look into the theory, but also sat on the driver's sit and run the country for a while, what would be your thoughts about what we Latin Americans could do and should do?
I think not the way is very clear. I think in Latin America, in the deep heart, everybody knows. Just take the same indexes, what your foundation and so others have done. These are real. This is real things. This is not such a game. Look on these indexes and do your country better. Because the problems of Panama and other countries are very clearly seen in these indexes, where the major weaknesses are. The corruption, the weakness of the institutions, the very weak rule of law. All this, the same thing what we have talked for. That's one of the big areas where the reforms must be done. The second is opening. When we are looking on the attempt of a lot of countries in the Central and South America, not to open but to close yourself, that is, thank God, not so in Panama. It looks, at least for me, this is a very, we can say, big mistake. The first thing, of course, is really to be innovative. Don't be afraid. I think that, for me, if we're looking in the different politicians, so the people look to be afraid of these reforms. They think that it can do some absolute harm. There is a lot of wasted interest, of course, between those resistance. But don't be afraid. You can really do it. That's only necessary to really to be enough brave to start from something. Because the amount of reforms what can lie ahead is large. And each country can do this basing on its own heritage, own culture, own history. Think with your own head. Actually, you know all the answers. They are in your heart. My task is here only to encourage you, because you can really do it.
Thank you very much. Conversation with Mart Laar. Thank you.
Thank you.
And enjoy your coffee. We got you coffee.